Hello there and welcome back to the flight deck. Welcome back to our DA40. We are here in Trieben where we left off at the last episode. I've been back there to the restaurant having lunch and now we are all set to continue our flight and our tour through Austria. Today's flight will take us into Zell, one of the probably most popular local airports that we have in Austria since it's located so beautifully. And since I didn't want to miss on that airport, I'm going to break my rule today. This is neither a freeware airport from flightsim.to nor an airport provided by ASUS. It's a payware scenery by Gaia. But since there is no free version for this airport anywhere available, and I didn't want to let this airport out when we are doing a tour through Austria, we are flying in there anyways. I'm breaking our rule a little bit today. Further on, over here the weather is still looking quite okay, but in Zell we might get problems with our weather, which is why I, just for safety reasons, filed an additional flight plan, hard word, so we could theoretically join IFR and divert to Salzburg if we needed to, if we get any problems with clouds, but for right now, we are looking good. The plane is already completely checked. Had a look on the outside. We are going to get set up real quick, check that our flight controls are moving nice and freely as they should. That is looking good. As for over here, I already had a guy over here refueling the plane for me. We are resetting the fuel and we got 30 gallons of fuel straight in the aircraft, so we're gonna enter this over here. Now the fuel is set up correctly as well, and with that we're basically all good to go. We can close up the canopy. We're gonna check flaps full travel real quick. That is moving nice and freely. Okay, the light indication is correct. Put them into takeoff. Verify. That is perfect. Okay, let's get our engine started, shall we? We'll open up our checklist real quick over here. The weight and balance is already done. Before I start checklist. Elevator trim, ignition, alternator, blah, blah, blah. We check that everything is the way that it should be. And confirm we're at the lowest tank. We're going to get to the, wasn't one too far, to the right tank again. And we can come into our engine start. The strobe light will come off. On, not off, of course. And we're good to get started. The key should be at the off position. Nevertheless, fuel pump coming on, full forward. Let's get mixture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. Perfect. Come back on the throttle. Ignition start. Wait to pop. And here she is. Very nice. Ignition to both, and the fuel pump can come off. Come a little bit down on our throttle. Lean her in with the mixture until she should drop now. Yeah, there she is. Catch her. And bring her down to a good 1000-ish RPM setting. Okay. We're set for the ground wing. Alternator can come on. Let's check on the lighting. It's a little bit yeah, we do not need that lighting. We're gonna cage on the standby instrument. QNH 1020. I don't think that is correct. We're gonna set it to 1018 again. And over here 1018-ish should be looking good. We're gonna check in with the info guy later on, but 1018 should be perfect. Checking. Also over here we can see that we're quite on the elevation of the airport, so of the airfield, so it should be correct. Circuit breakers are all in, flaps are set to take off. P to heat, we'll check on the amps. The warning light disappears, warning light comes, and the amps. Perfect. And avionic master switch on. That is all set and done. And with that, propeller should have been to full, by the way. That is if you rush the checklist. With that, we're actually ready to get into our flight plan. So as already said, our flight plan is gonna take us into Lima Oscar Whiskey Zulu, tail C. If we depart like we left, if it's still the same runway over here in Trieben, this is the arrival into tail C, that one we can leave the way that it is, but I want to go into Trieben here. Pretty sure it will be 1-1. Wind hasn't really changed, but we will see what the controller gives us. Nevertheless, I prepared a little bit of a flight plan for us, or a route, to help us orient through the valley. Basically, we're just going to follow the valley all the way to Tail MC. For the approach into Tail MC, we're going to take a slight right turn over the Alps, but other than that, we can use those points for our orientation a little bit. That will give us a little bit of a guide. So the first one is going to be Eigen im Innstall, a military airfield that we're going to use as a reference point. From there on out, there is a point called Victor Papa 080, I think it is. Yes. Which we'll get several from. I hate that. But we will need the Austria version of it. Yes, perfect. Then we want to get into the next point, which is Boom. Fairly new point. And now, from Boom we're gonna go into Victor Papa 067. That is already a TLMC approach. Victor Papa 067. We will not be able to go from Boom to that point because there's terrain. We will basically, the point is somewhere here. It will lead us straight into the Alps. We're gonna come down over here and then turn into TLMC. That is the plan. Why does it always change our camera when I do that? I hate that. And the last point is going to be Victor Papa 060. Enter and find the Austria version again. There we go. Okay. So that is all set up. Over there, we want to be somewhere about 3,500 feet. So we can enter that. In here. Enter. Bumuk. We want to be somewhere around 8.5, or let's do 7,500 feet for now. Okay. So that will give us the correct height. Perfect. We enter that. That is set. For right now, I am happy. Now we're gonna have a look. Traffic circuit wisely. We should climb 1,200 feet above ground, which for here will be 3,500 feet. Is where we want to leave Trieben, and that is looking good. Is there a cloud above us? Because it feels kind of dark right now. Okay. Nevertheless, we'll get into our checklist. So the mixture was done to ground lean. We caged the standby horizon flaps. Takeoff beta heat is tested. Avionic master is on mode, and transponder is selected to standby for the moment being. The altimeter is set as far as we know. Autopilot test perform. Heading, autopilot. Left turn check, right turn check, move without disconnection, manual disconnect, hold to disconnect, the electrical trim not moving, release, and the electrical trim is working again. Like it should. Autopilot tested, FMS is set up. We are basically set and done for our taxi, which we're not going to do just yet because we want to call in with the controller, which means that director can come off by the way. we are going to come into our... We're going to plug ourselves in again. And there we are. That should be a lot better. Meaning that right now we want to get onto the correct frequency. And Trieben was 122.505. So let's go 122.505. I'm scrolling in the wrong direction. 505. There we go. And real quick, we're going to change to 1 down. 0.5 down there. We want to have the guard frequency online. Safety first, you know. That has never been selected. Okay, 122.505. By the way, coming back here, we can already set 124.4 as we will need that frequency later on. And that should prepare us on the frequency side of things. Perfect. So, 122.505 is active, which means we should be able to call in. Trieben, Servus, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Let's see if someone will respond. Trieben, good afternoon. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Trieben Airport Info. Hello, pass your message.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Diamond Star VFR from Lima Oscar Golf India to Lima Oscar Whiskey Zulu. Request departure information. Give us some good info, please.
Oscar Echo Lima. Good afternoon. Runway 11 in use. Left circuit QNH 1018. Surface wind 080 at 8.
Runway 11 in use. Left circuit QNH 1018. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Thank you. Perfect. All the information that we need. QNH 1018. We speculated. Good. Yeah, basically, I think we're all set and done. We can start our taxi. We're gonna tap the brakes. We're gonna release the parking brake. We are clear on both sides. There was no traffic reported since we're on the frequency, and since this is a very, very small field, there will not be anybody around, so. Trieben traffic, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, taxiing to runway 11. And we can start our taxi. It's gonna take a right turn here. Try to clear those cars.
Oscar Echo Lima, roger.
Although this gas station is not in the right place, should be right there. Like a yellow little box. And that's rough. Getting down there, there's quite a slope in there. Okay. Yes. The same plane twice. Nice. So this is where you can eat. Very nice place. Oh, we got fast quickly. We're going to hold short of runway here. We're gonna set up parking brake, recover the engine to 1000 RPM. Is there windsock? Right here. He's giving us 1-1 again. Although it would make more sense to be departing via runway 29 over there with this wind. Maybe we can ask him. I mean, he cannot clear us. He can only give us the active runways and stuff. But you know what? Nevertheless, the taxi checklist. Taxi lights. on when moving, that is checked. We can, by the way, turn it off for the moment being. The parking brake, we tested the brakes and we tested the flight instruments. That's the important part of this checklist. Aircraft orientation into the wind, sort of. It's coming from somewhere. No, it's not. It's coming from somewhere there. Right from behind, actually. Okay, so impossible. We're pretty much unable to turn the aircraft into the wind. Nevertheless, the parking brake is set. The engine temperatures are all within the green. That is observed. The circuit breakers check all in. All doors are closed. Mixture is coming to full reach right now. We increase to 2000 RPMs. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Perfect. And now we cycle the prop. 1, 2, 3. We want to have a stable 2000 RPM. That's looking bad. Now we're going to check the magnetos. First the left side. Drop off 100. Okay. And the right side drops by 100 as well. So no difference in between the two magnetos. Everything looking proper. Cut the engine. And she's still alive. Let's recover to 1000 RPM. Fuel pump can come on. Trim is set for takeoff. And we do the cooking once again. All flight controls are working properly. In preparation for takeoff, the transponder is coming to alt. The lights are coming on. We have the position light on as well. We do not need it. But the pitot heat is not needed. The parking brake will release in just a second. We'll check for the approach sector then. The runway is identified pretty much. And yeah, we can come to a climb checklist over there. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, if possible, request to depart via runway 29er. Would also be better, sends us into the right direction straight ahead. If not,
Oscar Echo Lima, unable, only runway 11 available.
Oscar Echo Lima, roger, ready for departure. We tried. Okay, he's not responding to that, nevertheless. Trieben traffic, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is lining up and taking off runway 11. Let's do it this way then. So, the approach sector is clear. Yeah, that is verified. Okay.
Oscar Echo Lima, wind 080 at 8, left circuit, QNH 1018, take off at your discretion.
Roger. I'm not going to read that stuff back. You should normally, at least QNH and stuff, but we know that St. Tensions does have some problems sometimes, so yeah, we'll just do it the unpolite way. Nevertheless, we are preparing for a short field takeoff here, so we are looking for a pull at around 50 knots indicated already, to ensure we outclimb the trees at the end of the runway. And now we can start to turn into here. We will need quite a lot of thrust. Okay, there we go. We are a little bit to the left, that is not a problem. We're once again going to check everything is where it should be. We do not want to have anything wrong for this takeoff. As I said, very short runway, but we're all good. We're all set, and we can set the timer. Increase the throttle slowly. I stay on the brakes until I have my full thrust available, and I'm gonna let go. I'm already using right rudder to correct it a little bit. And there we go. Pull, 7.5 degrees. And we are getting nicely over the tips. 'Of the trees there. Okay. So we will do quite a harsh turn. We have to be very careful. Because there is that mountainous area over there. So we will start a quite banky turn right here. This one you really run a flight tight. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is airborne. I hope he gets it this time. Sometimes he has trouble understanding that command. Maybe I talk. Maybe it's my talking, but well. Okay, he's not even acknowledging it. Nevertheless, 80 knots. We will come back on the flaps. They go to 0. We can set some climb power. That is looking good. 3,500. Let's start leveling off over here until we leave the circuit. There we go. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is leaving the frequency. Goodbye. Will he respond to this? No, he won't. Okay, we tried. We are clear of this zone. We will get back into the normal flight line here. And we are all set and done to climb 7,500 feet. So I will change my altitude here. We stay in our climb setting. We got quite fast. And whilst we're climbing, we're calling in with VIN information. Let's see if we can already reach them since we're in the middle of the valley. VIN information, good afternoon. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. VIN info, go ahead.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, just departed Trieben is a VFR Diamond Star from Lima Oscar Golf India to Lima Oscar Whiskey Zulu. Request traffic service.
Oscar Echo Lima, squawk 7414 and I then.
Squawk 7414 Oscar Echo Lima. And I then. Perfect. Now we get into a flight plan. We set our direct routing, engage, nav, autopilot, nav, V-speed, and we're flying. Are we flying? No, we're on the roll. Nav, please. Now we're probably going to do a little bit of an overturn here. We can increase our rate of climb. Normally this guy should say that we are identified. He does not. Sad, but okay. Some things are still not working with same tensions, but it's good enough. Okay, now we have time. We can come back to our climb setting. We are at a nice climb set for the manifold pressure and the RPM. We still need to work a little bit on our mixture. We're gonna pull to maximum temperatures of 1350. Seems like number 4 is our hottest cylinder, so we focus on that one right now. Actually now our number 1 is the hottest, so let's come somewhere about here. Yeah, that's looking good. That is a good set for the climb now. on our way to 7,500 feet, which will give us a nice altitude. We are somewhere about the height of the clouds here, which is for the time okay. We will have to check if we can stay at this height. For now, let's just appreciate the beautiful views that you get to the Austrian Alps from over here. Ah, you have to love this. I'm keen to see, we could climb up to flight level 125, I think, in this area. Echo, flight level 125, yes. So we could theoretically try out climb the clouds. We are at flight level 125, we are in a range where our oxygen is not our biggest enemy. We should have one, but since we're in a simulator, we cannot simulate this, so we will be fine. Okay, nevertheless, in front of us a military area, Hagen, Zell, ground 5,000 feet, we're right above this, so we do not have a problem with this zone. We'll be right down there. We are nice and above this hilltop here. Yeah, everything is looking good. So, height-wisely, we are looking at a good height right now. We got, we can reduce to 500 feet per minute. At 7,500 feet. The only thing that I'm really thinking about is maybe we climb even higher. Let's try out 9,500 feet. And see if this gives us a good height. Whilst we're doing so, I will get rid of any information I do not need anymore. And I will prepare getting information for our arrival aerodrome, which of course is MC. So we have the charts ready for this approach. Okay, we might slightly scratch those clouds here, but actually we can try something. We're going to set that direct to the next waypoint. That could keep us clear of the clouds until we outclimb them. Since we are high enough over the terrain, that should not be a problem. We'll come in on our range here a little bit so we have a better field of view down there. We're holding our speeds nicely, so our climb power is set correctly. And it feels like we can really manage to outclimb these clouds, which is perfect. Saves us a lot of trouble because we can stay over the terrain. We don't have to navigate through all of those valleys too much, and we can take better directs pretty much. And we do not have to do any IFR procedures or something, since we are beautifully over the clouds and can see everything that we need to see. Okay, those extra 2,000 feet should get us above most of the clouds. Fine. We want to go into our map options really quick. We're going to go on topo, and we're going to check pretty much for all of our flight. We outclimbed the terrain. So terrain-wisely, we for sure are on the good side. Switch back to this map. Perfect. There we go. Oh, look at that. This is the highest we have been flying within this series. And you just gotta love it. So we'll be in the mountains for quite some lags now. And later on, when we get to the parts of Upper Austria, we're going to get out of the mountains and we're into the hilly sides of Austria. Also beautiful places down there. Some insane landmarks that we're going to see. We'll probably have to work more with control zones then again. We might even slightly scratch Germany on our tour. But we will see about that once we get there. Okay, we can definitely see now that we're out climbing those clouds. We're even out climbing this mountain tip, which is quite a high one. By the way, on this route now, we will also bypass the biggest mountain that there is in Austria, the Großglockner. We will try to find it. Let's see if we are able to. It will be basically when we approach Zell, it should be straight ahead of us. That's a mountain we cannot outclimb. It has like 12,500 feet. Quite a high one. I think about 3,000 meters. Something around there. Oh, look at that. That looks insane. Speed, we are still looking good. We can already prepare on our... By the way, that is on check. Cruise setting will be the next. We can already prepare our tables here. We want to be looking into nice 65 of cruise. We never switched the fuel selector, by the way. We can switch it now to work a little bit with our left fuel selector now. Nevertheless, 65%, that's perfect. We are at 9,000 feet. So we'll be looking for 2,400 RPM. Pretty much where we are. And 20.7 on the manifold pressure. Pretty much where we are. So we just have to play around with our mixture. That is a good point. We can come into our mixture again. We can already come down on it. Back here. Yeah, that is good. And there we are. We leveled off 20.7 on the manifold pressure coming down. Yes, there we are. Increase the RPM a little bit. There we go. And now for our mixture, very, very slowly pull back. We are still rising. One and two are basically on the same temperature. There she starts dropping again. We're nice and set. Beautifully above the clouds. We might need to do some vectoring later on when we get into that whole sort of descent. Wow, that was a hang up. So when we start our descent, we might vector a little bit around the clouds. We'll see about that. But for right now, we are good. We'll start our turn, our next turn in 10 seconds. Actually in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, interesting, it starts number 4. But this thing counts down, but that's not a problem. Yeah, and from here on out, it's just some straight flying. So I guess I will be looking over the plane for a little as we pass over the Alps, and I will get back to you as soon as things get interesting again. See you in a bit. So hello there, welcome back. We are close to our top of descent. We've flown over all of the mountains, up all of the clouds. The altitude worked out just perfectly, and now we should be starting our top of descent, which is fairly interesting because we can see this cloud right in front of us, and over here that terrain. So we have two options. Either is take this line here and do an illegal approach into Zell, or we start our descent after those clouds back there. And I think we will do this. So, whoa, that was dumb. We'll take a little bit of a right turn here, trying to fly into this gap over here. I do not want to come in this way. This is not the appropriate way to get into Zell. It's actually, well, it's at least not mentioned in the charts and everything. So we want to do things right over here, which is approaching from the north. So we'll try to descend in this window over here. Our flight plan is actually already calculating a rate of descent for us, which means that we will need to go down quite fast. Good thing is we already have all the traffic or the airport information that we need. So the QNH is 1018 as with our departure aerodrome. But by the way, getting down now so we can start. Turning a little bit left and we'll come down at 5,000 feet at least, but right now we still overhead some terrain. But nevertheless, vertical speed. Let's start already descending. And we are good here. We can turn a little bit back on the heading now. And we can start increasing our rate of descent. Now we bring our manifold pressure back to somewhere about 15 inches. To help us prevent some supercooling, we're coming back on the RPM. And for engine temperature. Yeah, somewhere around there is good. Okay, quite a high rate of descent at the moment. We want to actually increase that even more. And now we're descending into this valley back there.
Zell MC Airport at your 12 o'clock, 14 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Radar services terminated. Squawk 7000. Bye bye.
Roger, thank you, Squawk 7000. Bye bye, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Okay. We haven't prepared the frequency just yet. Zell MC ready. 119er 705. Type that up. 119er 705. There we go. Let it at FSS. Perfect. Now we will take a little bit of a right turn because this is where we want to join in. We want to stay clear of the terrain. We want to descend somewhere down here. Those lakes are pretty much everywhere within Austria because this is also over here lakes where they, not all of them, but some where they store water for the winter in order to, like that here, are skiing slopes. And since there is not much snow coming down from the skies anymore, we need to do our own snow. That's why we have those lakes everywhere for water. So we can create our own snow. Pretty smart, isn't it? Okay, let's get back into flying. We're descending straight ahead in the valley of Zell. So back there is Zell. Down here, this is where you enter a place where I love to go skiing, Seibach and Seibach Hinterglemm. Very beautiful. Amazing ski slopes and stuff. Let's have a look down here. We are slowly catching up. We're descending very fast at the moment. It's okay for that moment being. But I think that we can come down on our descent rate shortly. Okay. We're going to pull in. That we are approaching. Once we come up with the valley, we should have a good radio connection by then. Now, I'm not sure if we would because there's a mountain in the way. The field is basically right behind this mountain. I don't know if they would hear us so well. We can nevertheless continue our descent to 3,500 feet, which is the altitude that we want to be on. But we're gonna come down on our descent rate to somewhere about 600 feet. Very nice. So we are flying around the mountain top here. We are just below one cloud. Technically, I do not think as a VFR flight this would be fairly legal to be this close to the cloud, but we're in simulator. Little advantage that we have because we do not 100% have to care about such stuff. Things don't always have to be hyper-realistic. Okay, so here we are coming up. Scenery down here is not looking good. Why is everything so green over here? Something is either broken or I don't know. Let's view it from a distance. Everything is looking green down there. I hope it's not a loading issue and stuff over there will be looking fairly poor as well. We will see, I guess. Nevertheless, we will get to our descent, checklist, mixture, and engine insurance status of checked approach. We are on the full tank. The left one is still slightly better filled up. The parking brake we verify is on release. The lights are as required for the time being. The fuel pump can come on. The landing data is received. Altimeters are set. ComNav FMS. We all set power set. Okay. Actually, we are going to start a turn. That's a heading 240 for the time being. Start flying into the place. We can also decrease our rate of descent. We're much too high now. Much too low now. I think we overdid our descent a little. But that's not a problem. This way we can have a look at the beautiful valley over here. We're in the middle of April. Everything is much greener than it is down here. I hope they will fix the color issues that they have in the flight sim currently, because that is good looking for winter, but not for the middle of April. Okay. We are coming up with the 3,500 feet. And there is the lake. I think we can start turning direct. Picked up a 067. I think we're good now. Activate. Direct. Activate. Nav. We're back. The nav chart. LMC radio, good afternoon, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. It's not a radio mandatory zone.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Zell. MC radio, good afternoon. Pass your message.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is approaching the field from the north, and we are looking for a full stop landing in Zell am See. Would not need to do it with an initial call, but anyways, we're trying. That way, hopefully he will give us the information we need now, because it feels like nothing's happened. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, what is the active runway?
Oscar Echo Lima, runway 25.
Runway 25, roger, and any traffic reports? Let's try focusing on aviating again. We are much too low on the speed now. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, request traffic information. Maybe that way. Let's start hand flying.
No reported traffic.
Roger, thank you. That net did not work all too great this time. Okay, nevertheless, we will try to come down to a good power set now. Zell am See traffic, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is on base for runway 25, full stop. Let's go, propeller full, we got the landing and taxi that on, the fuel pump is on.
Oscar
QNH is set.
QNH 1018. Runway 25.
Roger. Okay. That worked better previously, and we forgot to aviate a little bit between there, but now we're back to business. Wow, that ship is not there, I can tell you that. Okay, let's start our descent. That's the greenness I was talking about. That's looking a lot more fitting to the current season. Okay, we go flaps full. Everything is on full forward. We are already set. Speed is looking good. That is checked. We're doing a nice turn into Zell am See here. Good on the speed. Stable on the winds. We're lucky with the weather. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, final runway 25. Okay.
Oscar Echo Lima, runway 253.
At least that information is now working again. Okay, let's bring it down. There's the fence going over the new piece of runway that they added in Zell am See. That is not in the scenery yet. A lot of problems with this flight today. But who cares? Cut the power. Don't overshoot things. Oh, that's a long landing. That was a long landing. But we made it work anyways. Okay, here we are in Zell am See. Try to stay on the center line. We can stop the timer here. We've been flying for a little over 40 minutes. Air transponder is going to stand by. The landing light can already come off. The fuel pump can come off. We lean in the mixture a little and come on to the RPM set again. And here we are. Welcome to Zell am See. Of course, the flaps are coming up. We take a right turn here. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima has vacated the runway. This time we said without a number, maybe it works, not like last time.
Roger. Thank you.
Yeah, this time it works. And that guy is a little more polite than the one in Sweden. Okay. Welcome to TLMC. Now all we need to do is find ourselves a good parking spot. I think we will once again need to get refueling done over here, but we're going to do that next time. I think over here to the tower will be a good spot for now. So we can also pay our airport fees. Let's see that we do not block anybody here. Park the aircraft right there. Right here, set the parking brake. That should be good. Reduce our RPM to 1000-ish. There we go. Taxi light off. Here we are. I'm fine with the position right now. We have to get in there and ask if we can stand here. Nevertheless, let's get things. Ready for cutoff. Final flaps. After landing, that is all done. Parking checklist. Here we want. Parking brake is set. The engine instruments are checked. Avionic master switch off. Throttle 1000 RPM. Ignition. Grounding. That did not work. There we go. Fuel cutoff. Thrust idle. Perfect. And ignition off. Lights except strobe lights off. Checked. Electrical consumers off. Battery off. Before we do that, we unplug ourselves. There we go. Have the warning lights come off here. The batteries can come off. Strobe light off. With that, we're all done. No cabin light is active. So we can open the canopy. And with that, welcome to TLMC. A little bit of a strange approach here. Did some little aviation mistakes, but still, we made it in safely with a nice landing. Long landing, but, well, things happen. And at this point I say thank you for watching, thank you for flying, and I see you around next time. Bye bye.